Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot. Now this is a general reading for those born in the year of the horse. Now it is August, just as I am filming this, so I assume this is part of my August series of readings, but it's been a busy month and next month looks like it will be a busy month. But I suppose you can consider this to be valid for September or basically whenever you come to it. We'll probably have a title that will be quite sort of, will summon you to come and watch it. Looking at the cards, as you can see that I am now shuffling right now, even though, let's see, no hands. Now, being a general reading rules apply. Timing is not absolute. So what I just said, yeah, it's the end of my August season of readings. But it's also the end of August, but it's relevant whenever and hits whenever. There's not so much of a past or a present on this one, although you can ask a question before we get into the cards if you wish. All you have to do there, pause the video, think about the questions that are around you, pick one of them, focus on it, but be aware of all of them because the cards will answer what they want. So if someone else appears in your reading, and I don't think there's anybody else here, then roles can get reversed because the cards don't come with name tags. So I can think I'm talking about you and I mean them and vice versa, but I don't think that's going to happen this reading. The only bit of housekeeping I need to cover, there's a link in the description down below for the Facebook page for this channel. So you can get, now that YouTube have stopped their email notifications, which has irritated me because that's how I sorted what I was going to watch on YouTube out. But now that they've stopped that, I post obviously these videos, plus the astrology videos when I watch them that I'm learning from, especially like the forecast videos and ever so often other readers. I know I featured Queen Cup, Joanna the I think it's just Joanna the Medium, I think. Joanna, anyway. Yeah, so that's it. Now, also with that Facebook page, there's an inbox. So if you want to contact me directly for a reading, you can do it through there. There's my Twitter down there as well, so you can DM me there. I'm also on Tumblr on Sunchild Adventures, and I think that's enough waffle. We're 2.5 minutes into it, so let me bring up the cards. As soon as the computer does what I tell it to, there we go. Right, so, now, I had meant to clarify those. It appears a bit like a good news, bad news situation for you, horse. You have a new beginning. It's so very tarot stereotypical to say, oh, you have a new beginning. You've got a new beginning. And it's not necessarily one by choice by the looks of these cards, although it is highly affected by your choices. The first thing that struck me, 2 of Wands, 2 of Swords, 2 of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. So the only thing that's missing is your dreams here. So yeah, I think it's covering every aspect of your life except love. So if you are looking for a relationship style reading, I don't think you're going to find it here because you're going to be too busy. But there's traps along the way. There's something that you are blind to. 2 of Swords here, clarified by the 2 of Swords. So there's that message really hammered home that you have to act with balance, because it looks to me like something is going to make you angry. That 2 of Wands, that setting up with plans, looking to the future, and by the looks of all this, you're going to have to look to the future. This doesn't seem so much as in a big change is happening. It looks more like a big change has occurred. It's already happened and you're left reeling. So there's the first card to answer that first. Devil card here, and now for the main devil card here. Well, there we go. Nine of Wands, then Six of Wands. So, like I say, I feel like you're reacting to something that has happened rather than the whatever it is happening in the span of this reading. It's something that has upset plans that you've maybe been tied to and that you've nearly finished. You've nearly completed. But like I say, I do feel that there's something that you're unaware of, and it's going to be very, very tempting to react in anger to this upset. But to be quite honest, this upset, in fact, the more I look at this upset doesn't seem to be such a bad thing. It's almost as if something to do with your plans, because you were blind to something to do with your plans wasn't quite right. It was causing you stress. It was causing you pain, irritation, and draining you to a great extent. And these plans need to be reborn in a slightly newer fashion, where there is power coming to you right now that you can utilize for good, but you have to act with balance, because it's going to be so easy to react with anger. Now, here in the middle of the deck, we have a warning about accepting, about what help that you accept. We have the 5 to the 6 of coins from the In-Between Tarot, which is all about accepting help. It's all about getting from that place of lack to a place of value, and accepting help along the way. But clarified here by the Queen of Swords, you have got to make sure that you are accepting that help from the correct place. And we have from the Quantum Oracle here, Professional Assistance card. So you are in need of advice, obviously, because there's something that you're blind to. But you have to be very careful where that advice is coming from. So, literally, like the card says, professional advice. Go to someone saying, right, my plans have been upset in this fashion. This is where I'm heading to, or this is where I was heading to. Because with this Fool card, you may have seen in the shuffle, I turned it round. That's because the card's actually spun out of the deck. So I felt, yeah, that was just my clumsiness. I think it's, and the camera's gone as well. Come on, camera. There we go. See, magic hands. It spun out of the deck. So the minute I put it there reverse, I was like, no, that's not right. Doesn't feel right. And it's clarified by the Ace of Pentacles. You have that new beginning I was talking about. And I rather think that whatever your initial goal was, because there is something that you were blind to, I want to phrase this right, because I do believe that your end goal was the correct goal to be aiming for, but it's no longer the correct goal to be aiming for, if that makes sense. It's pretty much the world has changed around it, and a source of pain has ceased. Even if it causes you damage in the process, it's the end of the matter. It's something that has had, because your plans have been draining your energy, and possibly meeting some form of opposition, to be quite honest. I think this professional advice may well turn around and say, yeah, you know, you was heading over there. Try heading just a little bit to the side of that. Just try this way, and they will be able to assist you in how to get there. But either way, you know that you are taking on a burden. I nearly said a bargain, but we'll still that. We're taking on a bargain, but we're taking on a burden as well. Now, the page to the Knight of Cups is a card that talks about the loss of innocence. But if you think about the page with his dream that is like, shall I think this is a good dream. Whereas the knight is right, go, now I know what I'm going to do. And here's my cup of love or cup of dreams. And we're going ahead, and neither of those are the king. So there's quite possibly an emotional motivation to what they're doing. And you are certainly going to be given an emotional motivation on how to move forward. But with these two devil cards, I'm wondering if the emotional motivation is something worth following, or whether, to quote Admiral Akbar, it's a trap. And that's why this presence of professional advice is ideal for you at the moment. But there are some really good cards here. I mean, yeah, this final... It's one of those learning times. Oh, goody, learning times. And that is very much symbolised by hexagram number 61 here, wind over lake. And it talks about how the wind goes over the surface of the lake, disrupting the reflection of the sky, which reveals, no, the lake's not heaven. Heaven's up there. The lake is its own thing and is well worth exploring, but it's its own thing. It's not what you think it is. So again, there's that sense of not seeing things quite as they truly are, or missing something. But now, where's the books? It does talk about... Was it in this one? No, that's completely the wrong book. It does, excuse me. It does talk about look below the surface. So, thus truth is separated from illusion. The lake is not heaven after all. Its depths hold their own truths which must be explored by going beneath the surface. The wise person does not fear to stir the deep waters in search of inner truth. A life of illusion cannot be maintained forever. One of the other books that I have on the I Ching basically point out that this is a time of spiritual attainment, a time of, like I say, all goody, another learning experience. The truth within. This is also... Yes, this is a highly auspicious time for your spiritual development. Cultivate the strength and power of your inner self, and you will be able to accomplish any difficult undertaking. If there is such an undertaking at hand, you should tackle it now, applying yourself to it with confidence, with the worthiness of your aims and the integrity of your character. Which is again why I say this. Whatever it is, whatever has upset your plans, it will cause anger. But don't react to that anger. Do not give in to the dark side of the Force. Which flies in the face of, I think, another reading that I gave this month, which was pretty much saying, do give in to the dark side of the Force. But anyway, yes, don't give in to the dark side of the Force. So why this professional assistance is so useful for you, because it's more than likely that they can see something that you can't, and they can identify this thing that you're not seeing. And as soon as they make it clear to you, it's almost like, aha, now I know what I've got to do. It's more work doing it this way, but it will get me to where I want to do. But there is a warning at the very end here. We have the Tower clarified by the Four of Cups. And as you know, the Tower is a good card. So it's, if you don't listen to your guidance, it's all going to come down round your ears. So whatever advice that you are being given by spirit or by professionals that you trust, heed it, listen to it. Because we have, here's the more cheerful stuff, embarking on an adventure from the Gateway Oracle. Let's see if I can bring that camera back into focus again, or I may have to use my magic hands. Come on, magic hands. Nearly. And the encouragement card basically says that Spirit is gently encouraging you to go and grab your destiny. Now, on the bottom of the in-between tarot deck, we have the Ace to the Two of Cups. 2 cards fell out. I only took 1 for the final card, so I immediately put this on the bottom without thinking. I'd normally put it to the top. And on the bottom is the Magician to the High Priestess. Come into your power and listen to your intuition. Come into the new beginning and start progressing forward. The only commitment you need to be making, however, is to yourself. 4 of Wands with the Hermit here. And I don't believe that you even need to make a commitment to what you're doing. You just have to make the commitment of doing it right. Doing it in the... right isn't the word, because I don't mean correct as in no mistakes. I mean right and true. Being true to, you know, if your plans were upset by you going down a path, and the option is if you want to pass go and collect £200, you have to do this thing that is against your nature. And there's the part of you that's going, but I don't want to do that. That is not who I am. That's not who I want to be. That's fine. That's fine. Don't do it. Be who you are. Be who you want to be, and don't do that thing. Although there will be conflict over this. There is certainly a lot of work ahead. I mean, the astrology for the rest of the year is not easy, so none of this is really a surprise. But the guidance is there in your heart and outside you from incarnate mortal beings, from this professional assistance. You have to choose them wisely. And from Spirit themselves with this encouragement and the 4 of Cups. So all in all, when your plans get upset, basically it's a blessing. It won't feel like it, and the new path has a bit more work on it than what you wanted. But it will be of a more true path. Clarity will be coming. That's, yeah, I hadn't dealt with those 2 cards here. We have the Moon to the Sun card, which I love that card. It talks about coming into clarity. We have the dawn rising above the horizon, but there's a beauty about the mysticism of the moon. Even though I was gutted just recently to learn out that there's a theory that it is fake, there is a beauty about the moon, that of the mysticism of the moon, that is pushing you forward to this clarity, to the sunrise, to this source that will give you life. And transport to this is being offered if you are keeping true to your own moral code, the Hierophant here. And I'm not saying that you have to stick within tradition or anything like that, but as I said with here, you know who you are and who you want to be. And those are things that you have to stick to, that you have to be committed to basically do this whole embarking on a new adventure. Because if you don't do that, it's going to all come down tumbling around your ears. So I don't know where the phrase is from, but change or die. Now, and I don't necessarily mean you, I mean your plans. So I hadn't even looked at what the verse was. Verse number 28, constant virtue, which rather says about that whole being true to yourself. So, recognize the male, the yang. Guard the female, the yin. Be a valley under heaven. Be a valley under heaven, and the constant virtue will not fade away. One will become like a little child again. Recognize the white, the yang. Guard the black, the yin. Be a model under heaven. Be a model under heaven, and the constant virtue will not fade away. One will return to the infinite. Recognize the glory, guard the disgrace. Be a valley under heaven. Be the valley under heaven, and return again to the uncarved block. When the block is carved up, it is transformed into useful wares. The sage will use them with equal heart. Therefore the great law will not crumble. Stick to your own personal moral code. Don't justify nothing. Don't go, oh, my goal is worth it. This is not an ends justifies the means time. If you have to compromise yourself, don't do it. It will come back and bite you on the backside. If someone has come and interrupted your plans through words of conflict and violence, do not react in anger. Get the professional advice to find out the way forward. And that promises a new beginning for you. A great new beginning. It's not going to be what you was expecting. It's not going to be what you was planning. But something tells me it's going to end up being better than what you thought it was. It's just going to take quite a lot of work to get there. So this is not a happily ever after reading, not for a while. There is a happily ever after-ish after you've done all this work, but there's a lot of storm to get through here. But it is definitely a message that you're sort of on the right path, but something's going to happen to disrupt you, and then you will be on the right path if you do not give in to the dark side and the force. I know exactly what I'm calling this reading now. Okay then, horse. As I said, next month is going to be busy, so I imagine your reading will next appear towards the back end of the month as well. It might be sooner than that. I can't promise anything at the moment. October looks better. Okay, so yeah, good luck. Stay tuned. Don't lose your rag. Don't give in to the dark side of the force. You're going to be on a good path. Cheers.